Hi everybody, welcome back to another edition of Book Chats. In this video, I'm going to be going through some works about philosophy. And I say about philosophy because rather than discussing primary works of philosophy and potentially boring anyone to death, I think it would be more helpful to talk about some secondary resources since they're usually more accessible, like quick reference books that kind of condense some of those larger ideas, or works of philosophical fiction with really compelling narratives. So whether you're on a personal quest for truth and wisdom, or you just want to sound smart at the next party you go to, I think there's something here for everybody. So let's get started. The first one I want to touch on is the Little Book of Philosophy from DK Publishing. What strikes me about this book is how it presents thoughts and arguments from a lot of major figures across the history of philosophy. It does it chronologically by thinker, with some pretty interesting quotes to start each chapter. So you've got Socrates, "The unexamined life is not worth living," Rene Descartes, "I think, therefore I am," and of course, "Man is something to be overcome," by the late, great Friedrich Nietzsche. It also organizes each thinker by their respective philosophical branch. So whether they're studying in something abstract like metaphysics, the study of that which is immaterial and beyond our perception of physical reality or what we take to be, or if they're working in something more practical like ethics, the study of how we should act within society. And it provides a lot of helpful context from there, lots of really good visual diagrams that explain these broader ideas. So it really strikes me as a great starting point for learning about philosophy at large, or even deepening your understanding of philosophy through particular thinkers. So definitely a very helpful resource. Next, we have got African-American Philosophers, 17 Conversations, edited by George Yancy. What I like about this book is not only how it highlights a particularly underrepresented group of people within philosophical practice, but also how it takes a very straightforward conversational approach to the whole thing. So it features really fascinating dialogues with very notable figures who are still living today, including Angela Davis, the famous political activist, Cornel West, the Harvard professor and social critic, and of course, 15 other important contemporary thinkers working in their fields. They discuss things like race and philosophy and where those two intersect. The editor in his introduction even discusses his own experiences studying philosophy, and he kind of observes the elitist attitudes held by a lot of people in those places that really put up barriers to scholarship and academia for many people. So it works as a very significant criticism of philosophy by philosophers. Definitely really important, worth checking out. And finally, we have got Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, an Inquiry into Values by Robert M. Pirsig. So it's a pretty popular work of philosophical fiction. Probably more than a few people have suffered through it in high school classes. When you first read it, it comes across like an autobiography, but it's actually a fictional work. It's an account of a father and a son on a motorcycle trip from Minnesota to Northern California, in which the father, as the narrator of the story, discusses the history of philosophy, his takes on some of the major thinkers, with plenty of references to Eastern schools of thought like Zen Buddhism and Taoism. But also he describes his own philosophical system, which kind of, as he puts it, balances the classical, rational view of the world through analysis, the kind of view that we get through science and mathematics, for instance. He balances that with the passionate, romantic view through emotional expressions, the kind of things we get through art and the humanities. So there's a lot going on. It's a very rich text. It can get pretty dense at times, but it's really rewarding if you go on this journey with him. I highly recommend it. So those are 3 books about philosophy that I think are worthwhile. Of course, all of these titles are available in our collection. Be sure to check out our other videos in this book chat series. Look out for any others in the future. And thank you for watching. See you next time.